This is pretty much exactly what you said was going to happen. When we interviewed you shortly after the shooting, you were very confident that Baldwin would face these kind of charges. But his attorneys, according to John Glasgow's report, they were blindsided by these charges. Why?
If they were blindsided with involuntary manslaughter, then I don't think they researched the law. As you and I discussed over a year ago after this incident, if you look at New Mexico's criminal code, involuntary manslaughter is if you take the death or life of someone, cause the death, in a reckless or careless manner. And when Alec Baldwin went on TV and basically said, I bear no responsibility, I didn't pull the trigger, which was a blatant lie, he just made things worse, John.
Yeah, we saw that. We heard Mark Garagos talk about the fact that that could have damaged his defense. And two, I've also read about kind of this culture of negligence on the set, and that there weren't proper protocols taken with the weapons. You know, how does a live round actually get in a gun that's being used as a prop? Those questions continue as well. And here is Baldwin again saying, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger. Do you agree with Mark Garagos that this has severely damaged his defense?
Absolutely, and it's admissible because it's going to be admission by party opponent. So the fact that he voluntarily gave a statement, that is going to be Exhibit 1 of the state prosecution's case against him. Their experts already proven that that single action Army revolver had a trigger bar. So even if you cock it back, that bar prevents the hammer from dropping without having to pull that trigger. So my position last time is, knowing these firearms, Alec could have easily had that trigger already squeezed, not using due care and not understanding what he's doing because he doesn't have an extensive history with firearms or knowledge, pulls that hammer back, lets it go, and that hammer is going to slam down on the primer. It's going to set off a bullet. And right there is a careless taking of someone's life, and that's involuntary manslaughter in New Mexico.
Well, the wrongful death lawsuit between Hutchinson's family and Baldwin was settled back in October. Now that he has been criminally charged, why is the prosecutor not requesting an arrest here rather than just summoning him to appear in court?
I think that may have been predetermined. I think because they don't think he's a flight risk, he is high profile, they know where he is. I think the state might be giving him I don't want to call it a professional courtesy because he's clearly not part of the legal profession, but there was probably enough communication between his attorney and the prosecutors where they said, hey, if you do charge him, we will get him there immediately to turn himself in. And that happens, doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen, especially in high profile cases, John.
Sure. Yeah. You know, 6.5 years, 5.5 years. I mean, that's kind of what people are talking about in terms of a potential sentence should he be convicted. What do you think?
Well, involuntary manslaughter without the enhancement, it's just a maximum of 18 months. It's a 4th-degree felony in New Mexico. If there are enhancements, then all bets are off. If they go forward and they get a conviction to show the extreme negligence or those enhancements because he was a producer, other legal bars have to be met by the state first to get those enhancements. But if it's a minimum mandatory sentence, then if he's convicted by a jury, that judge has no discretion but to sentence him to that minimum mandatory prison sentence.
Well, as Bianca said, we will all be watching very closely to this trial. Corey Strolla, attorney, thank you so much for being with us. Great to see you as always.
Always a pleasure.